I think it's going. Fantastic. All right. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Media Files podcast. This is our 6th episode. You might be a little confused because the previous episode was mainly on YouTube because it is a reaction. We did have kind of a second section that is strictly podcast, but this is our 6th episode, and I know that because I've been keeping track. Anywho, last episode we did a reaction to a music group, Gorillaz more specifically, and then we talked about our favorite artist in the second part. And our challenge for this episode was to find a video game on our gigantic Steam library that we have neglected hard, and games that we've purchased through those notorious Steam summer sales. Steam always has sales. I feel like most of my games I get through G2A too. Anyway, but for the most part, what we're going to talk about are those games. So we're just going to do a quick run through down and dirty. And I can start us off just to kind of set the precedence.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So my game of choice is called Sheltered. I bought this game. I feel like I bought it 2 years ago. And the only reason why I bought it was because I watched, from my YouTube episode, I talked about the indie game promoter, the guy who plays a lot of indie games, more specifically horror games, but he plays anything. Like he plays, card, strategy, RPGs, all those type of things. This was one of the games that he played. I bought it. I think I paid like $4.99 for it. And I think the actual price of it is like $10.99. But basically, it is a game of a. Have you guys ever heard of a game called? I think it's 60 Seconds. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No,
I have not.
So basically, it's a. For this game, you create a family. So you have, two parents and then 2 kids. And when you start it up, you give them specific attributes. And from that, you are dumped into a world. It's a pixel style type of game. Like side to side, and you're dumped into this world, and your goal is to survive as long as you can. And with this, you have your family, and you have certain aspects to it. So, for instance, you can't go outside without a radiation suit, which you are provided. You are given limited resources, so it's kind of like a management type of game. So you send out people in parties or in teams to scout the land, get resources and whatnot. You can be affected by a lot of different things, and the reason why I like this game is because it is a very steep learning curve. So, for instance, like I said, you can send people out on expeditions. The thing is, if you send people out on expeditions and you bring them back, if you there's hunger, there's thirst, there's sleep, and all those different types of attributes that you have to keep track of. So let's say your characters come back and they're hungry. If you go ahead and eat immediately after coming out of the radiation zone, you get food poisoning. And you wouldn't know that unless you, did it by accident. So
what game was this again?
Called Sheltered.
This was your most replayed one or least played one?
No, this is the one that the game of choice, dude.
Yeah.
The one that just sat on my library for 2 years and I never played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just see Sheltered Stasis on here. Oh.
It's
okay.
It looks pixel style.
It looks cool.
It's good. I'm gonna say this.
Team 17 Digital developed it. They published Blasphemous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. The thing with it is that the thing with it is a game where you have to really be in that genre, and if you're not, it's kind of like, you're in it for a little bit, and you kind of get out of it like after a while. Because one thing that I've noticed is it's fun, don't get me wrong, but if it's not like your, cup of tea, you'll probably play it for a little bit, get bored, and then kind of, click off. But for me, it is definitely one of those games where if you're like, I want a challenge, even if you just play it like just to see how long you'll survive,
Hmm.
it's a pretty good game, at least to try. And I think it does go on sale pretty often. Like, I feel like a lot of the games we're going to talk about go on sale pretty frequently, if I'm going to be honest. Let me check. How much is this? Yeah, it's 14.99. And they did come out with a second game, Shelter 2,
What?
but I don't think I don't think it was received that well, if I'm gonna be honest. I can't remember. Shelter 2. So Shelter 1 has 5,000 very positive reviews. For Shelter 2, there's 1,700 reviews that are mixed. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of mixed reception between the two games. But overall, again, it is one of those games that if you want to try it out. Buy it when it's on sale. It is a good game, but like I said, I mean, it was released in 2016.
This
So
is pretty bad, dude. Shelter 2 is mostly negative.
yeah, it is.
Recent.
It is. I haven't played it myself because I just played the first one, but I feel like a lot of people like what are some of the reviews saying? Huge potential.
Bugged.
Oh yeah, so it was like one
Very
of
bad.
those games where they kind of made it and then kind of abandoned it.
They abandoned it, yeah.
Not a good look. But yeah, the first one's good. Second one's questionable. Uh, Buy it on sale. Don't waste your money. So yeah, so that's my game. Mammoth. What is your game of choice?
My game was Contrast. It's a
Mm.
it's like a puzzle platformer where it's I don't know the setting. It's like super old. Like I want to say
Oh,
somewhere
game.
in Europe, like France or
Oh,
Italy.
That game looks awesome. That shit's been on my fucking list since PS4 came out. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, I
was it
remember
this?
playing the demo on like PS3 in a GameStop.
I was about to say I
Mammoth.
remember this, but I never like got around to play it. I'm gonna put this on my wish list.
It's $10 regular price, like without any sale.
Oh,
I don't know when I got it or what I paid for it, but I saw it on my list and I was like, I have to play this game. I've been aching to play this since the 2010s. But I will say that it's first off, it's an indie game.
mm.
I think it's a pretty small studio at the time. Compulsion Games. Yeah. There are a sequel called I think Glimmer I saw was a sequel and Contrast 2,
What?
but I
Huh?
Never
don't
heard of
know
these things.
Wait, what?
That's not even on
if
Steam.
it's even out. Yeah.
We happy few.
Oh, they made that game?
Yeah,
Contrast.
Gearbox
Okay.
Publishing published it.
So
But yeah, it's like a noir style like puzzle game where you play like I didn't finish it. Actually, I took my time with it. I didn't get super far into it. I did like the first chapter or I did act 1 where you're like introduced to the I don't want to say main characters, the only characters really
mm,
because you only see this like your partner this I don't want to say too much about the game. There's a little girl and you are like the little girl's like imaginary friend and you can enter and exit shadows to traverse the level.
hmm.
And
What?
so Real
So
people can't see you, but you can see their shadows. So, like,
in the real world.
yes, like the people in the
Wow.
real world can't see you, but you can see their shadows, but you don't see them. So it makes
That's
for some
actually
interesting visuals.
just hearing that, that sounds like some striking imagery on the
And
real.
the gameplay is fun. It doesn't feel janky for like a 2 to 3 generation old game. It I will say something I noticed in the gameplay that it feels like they wanted to add more, maybe just because of some of the things you can do.
Mm.
Like there's like this dash attack, and it's like, oh, you can use this to break barriers, and I'm like, this feels like something you would use like maybe in combat, but there's not really any combat. I shouldn't even
Mm.
say not really. There is no combat. It's just platforming.
I mean, that's fine. I
But
like
the way
Stray.
like the way some of it because you can spam this dash, and I'm like, there was a moment where I was stuck in like this elevator area at a hotel. If people have played the game, they'll know. And I was just dicking around for like 20 minutes, and I kept dashing around the environment, and I'm like, this would be some pretty cool like fast paced hack and slash beat 'em up style gameplay. But that's not like the point of the game. Even though
What?
the character you're playing as is like way stronger than they should be for their size.
Oh, the
Hmm.
little girl?
No,
The
the imaginary friend is like
imaginary friend?
it's like a grown woman, like,
Hmm.
but she's like not frail, but like she's very lean, like a gymnast. And it's like, okay, she's like bursting through wooden barricades like it's nothing.
Hmm.
She's every man's dream girl in a game look.
Oh my god.
Bruh.
I mean, whatever.
But yeah, the art is good, the soundtrack
JK.
is good, the gameplay is fun. It's a cheap game. I recommend it. I think it has a very positive rating on Steam.
Yeah, I'm looking at
But
here's one review. It says Limbo and Bioshock Infinite had a baby, and this epic indie
Yeah,
game is the result. 9 out of 10.
that sounds about right.
that's a crazy statement because the reviews, one of the review quotes was, "It's as if Limbo and BioShock Infinite had a baby while watching Pan's Labyrinth," and it's like, whoa,
Okay,
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because of the kid.
yeah,
That
I
does
was
make
just
more
like,
sense.
"Whoa!" I never really watched Pan's Labyrinth, but my parents did, and I remember seeing some visuals towards the end, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, my for dude,
Wait, was
dude, I am so shocked my parents were even watching that movie because, like, that movie is like a fantasy. It's like a fucking
it's
old
Del
timey
Toro.
folk. Yeah, it's like an old folk tale story in a fucking live action format,
bruh.
like
It's some
fairy
spooky stuff.
tale, folk tale type shit, but in live action. And Guillermo del Toro did it. But I guess that's probably why they were watching it because he's Mexican.
Hmm.
So
He's
they're
the
like, "Yo,
goat.
man, he's making Pan's Labyrinth. We gotta see what this Mexican up to." And they were like, "Yo, man, this shit is awesome." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay." Meanwhile, the 4K casually in a fucking Barnes and Noble, and I didn't even know it existed. And it's like, what is this doing here? And I'm just like, I'm not getting this. I'm getting Pinocchio. That's what the fuck I'm getting.
Bruh.
Whenever I get that, I don't have it yet because Del Toro did that too. But anyway, continue with the game.
Yeah, it's got great art, it's got great music, the gameplay's fun, it's not like overly challenging. I was surprised by some of the mechanics
Mm.
because there are like objects in the world you can manipulate, and you can adjust the shadows as much as you want in certain areas. And I'm like, oh, this is a really cool amount of freedom for like, I want to say a novel like gameplay style where you're like swapping between 2D and 3D on the fly. Like not it's not scripted, it's not in a cutscene, it's like you have the choice to play 2D or 3D to get through the level.
Mm.
Well, not like total choice, but like you can freely swap to achieve your goals.
Yeah, it's not like some of those where it's like you get to a certain point, like in Ratchet and Clank, where it's like you can't freely choose to use Ratchet or Clank. Like there's some
Yeah.
sections where it's like, okay, Ratchet has to do this, or Clank is small enough to fit through this. But in this, it's like you can switch whenever you want.
Yes. Like that. I will say one con about the game is that the story is not bad, but it's not really
All that.
like the game kind of just drops you in. It doesn't like you get some
Mm.
dialogue and you'll get
Mm.
like an objective, like head to the theater, head to the hotel, go get the thing. And it's like
Oh,
So it's
it
not really
doesn't have
fleshed
any.
out.
There's no dialogue.
there's dialogue, but the story just kind of
Minimal.
yeah,
It,
it does feel like it could use a little more meat
It just
oh,
kind of
because
happens.
it's one of those games where
it has a kid's storybook feel. Like
yeah, it tells
Mm,
the story with the visuals, with the gameplay.
yes,
That's what it is.
most of the
That's fine.
story is going to be from the visuals and the music.
okay.
I mean,
I
that's
mean,
fine. It's a game.
yeah.
Like I
Especially
think
for one, it seems like it's short in play.
yes.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how short, but I when I was reading reviews, I saw that it was about 3 hours ish.
That's not
So
bad.
I don't know if I was being slow playing it or if I was close to finishing it. Not sure how many acts are actually in there. But yeah, I do recommend the game. Uh it's
And
only $10,
you played this for how long or like
2 and some change hours.
oh, okay, it's a short game.
Yeah. Well, I spend most of it just like exploring, getting like collectibles and stuff and trying to like fool around and see what kinds of like movement you can do. It's not the most like you'll think like, "Oh, can I like do a jump dash, grab the ledge?" And it's like it won't let you do that. The gameplay's not that sophisticated,
Hmm.
but it's still fun. So yeah, I 100% recommend anybody
See,
that's got $10 to spare.
this is definitely on my wish list. I'm getting this next.
Before we segue into the next part, I think we need to give Broforce another chance. Also,
Broforce?
dude,
Bro
Broforce
Force?
is fun. Have y'all ever played that?
No, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, I played it one time here at my house. I connected the PC to the fucking TV. This was a few years back and I was playing it with the guys and with like uh Christian, Steven and his cousin.
I'm watching the trailer right now, and there's a baby with a Tommy gun.
Yeah, so like the characters are literally Stallone, Mr. T, and fucking Arnold.
What is this trailer?
It's fucking 4 players, dude. It's like a fucking high octane. Clearly, you're playing Stallone and Arnold and Mr. T in a shoot 'em up.
What is this?
Oh, you know, this reminds me of is it Worms?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
cool.
Yeah,
It's
those
an
are cool.
awesome game.
bro, they're
Really,
just flexing their muscles, and it's like, what is happening?
it.
Expendables the game.
They're literally
Yeah,
flexing their muscles, and they just killed the demon.
fucking Snake Plissken is in there. What the fuck?
Are you serious?
I just saw somebody with an eye patch. I know damn well who that is. The Rocketeer is in here.
Bro,
The
this looks
Rocketeer.
awesome. And it's pixel style too.
Yeah, it that's the o this is the one of those times where I'm like, I kinda wish it wasn't, like, this pixelated or this many because I wanna see the
Yeah,
character.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, they definitely could have gone for more of a 3D esque type of feel, especially with the trailer, with how it
Tr-
looks. Elite,
Yo,
or maybe they could have gone with that cartoon style.
yeah, that
Like,
would've been cool. Or just visible, like,
word.
Dude,
This was released in
Judge
2015,
Dredd. Judge Dredd is in the game.
bruh. Who
You can
made
literally
this?
play as the characters these actors portrayed. That's why you see Mr. T look like he looks. That's why Stallone looks like Rambo, and that's why Arnold looks like John Matrix from Commando.
My man literally punched a hole through someone's head. Oh, they made Carrion too? Oh.
Yeah.
Serious
So
Sam.
also, I'm sorry to ask this again, but I guess it kind of got lost with everything else.
Uh-oh.
What is the first thing that we need to talk about? Like these games that y'all spoke about. What was
What's the
what?
criteria?
Yeah, what was the criteria?
So, long story short, we pick a game in our Steam library that we have not played
Oh,
because
okay.
we have a lot of games that we have not touched. And the goal was to at least play it at least to some extent to where we can either recommend it or not recommend it.
Well, give me a second.
Ruh-roh.
Oh no.
No, because I've been playing games that I
So
installed
so while you're
that I
doing
don't play
that,
often.
so while
So
you're
you know,
doing that, I found the one of the most interesting games ever. Have you guys ever heard of Night of the Consumer?
I
I've heard of
think
something
so.
like that. Yeah.
It is this 3D game that I bought off of itch.io.
Oh, H.io.
Yeah, and it is the most hilarious thing. It is difficult. Like
Itch.io. Yeah. I found the game. Such a generic answer though.
I bet go.
Uh this is kind of different because I already have the game on multiple platforms and copies.
Oh god.
Oh
But
no.
it but it's Metal Gear Solid, the original.
Okay.
I only mentioned this one because it's actually like the last game that I was playing that I'm not modding directly from Steam and not emulating. So like I couldn't say FF7 and and I couldn't say I mean I could you know what? I'm gonna say FF7. Fuck this. At least it's a different change of pace. So I've had FF7 for a long time on Steam, like a long time. I can't tell you I mean I can check when I bought it, but I can't remember right now.
Mm.
And I played it back like ninth grade, maybe eighth or seventh grade, because my boy Trung was like, "Dude, you gotta fucking play that Final Fantasy VII, dog." And I was like, "Yo, man, I watched Advent Children. I liked that. You know, it's fucking casual,
Bruh.
such a fucking casual." But I was like, "Yeah," but who doesn't see Advent Children like at least the DVD box or Blu-ray and be like, "Yo, I want to see that." Like
True.
that shit looks amazing. And I haven't beat the game yet, but I will watch that movie after I beat it. But anyway, I didn't like it, and because it's turn based. Now I feel like if I pick up a turn based game, I'll be able to just play it as if I'm playing a Devil May Cry game, unless unless I can't vibe with it. I'm selective with those. But anyway, it's because of the turn based. I generally don't like turn based combat because I like to be active in my games. If I wanted to wait my turn, I'd play a board game or Yu-Gi-Oh or
Oh
Magic
my
or
god.
Oh no.
whatever. That's just me, bro. I play video games. I don't play video games for that. I like Master Duel and I like games that, sometimes may ask me to take a turn or whatever. Blackjack, Red Dead, wink. But, it's just not my thing, man. And then uh I recently was like, you know what? Let me play this because I was talking to Trung about it, and I had recently kind of got back into Chrono Trigger. And Chrono Trigger is turn based, and I had no problems with the game ever since I bought it. Like I bought Chrono Trigger on DS years ago, and I've never had an issue with that game ever since I played it. So I was like,
Mm.
you know what? Let me give FF7 a chance, but let me mod it because FF7 is so dated. I'm sorry, guys, listeners or viewers, whichever of y'all be like, "Yo, man, Final Fantasy VII is the shit." I agree. Those graphics ain't it, bruh. And I knew that since like '07.
They got their pitchforks and fire all ready for you.
Yeah, they're ready. And you know what makes it worse is that FF8 dropped a year later and it looked way better. Like if FF7 looked like FF8, I would have never modded it unless there was some game breaking things or bugs or whatever. Or
Don't you
like,
guys
like it's crazy the fucking tech leap that Squaresoft was able to make in between those games. But I kind of understand because FF7 came out in 97 and the PlayStation came out like in 96. So these motherfuckers were developing with early PS1 tech and pushing that shit, pushing it. But anyway, I couldn't vibe with the graphics. It's just it's too bad, bro. They look like Legos. They look like fucking blocks, man. I just can't do it. Like, however, I know it was a technical limitation. They didn't want to do it. I get that. I know it's from its time. I can accept many games from their time. This one is just one of those that just didn't age well in terms of graphics.
Hmm.
And you know, I always felt because of Advent Children, and I think it's Advent Children's fault too, that I was like, you know what, I can't really see FF7 the way it's being presented right now because it presents it and executes it and makes it feel almost in some form like it's kiddie because of those figures,
Hmm.
you know? So like there's no sound effects. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the fucking tech. It's fine. There's no sound effects when they're walking when you're walking in the game or anything. There's sound effects when I don't I don't even think there's sound effects when you walk in the world map. You know, when you're walking. A lot of it is like the music and then maybe a sound effect that when something happens. And even then maybe it's rare. You know, when it's not the actual cutscenes. But whatever.
Hmm.
I couldn't gel with it. The graphics were just I couldn't it prevented me from playing the game. It's like fucking One Piece in its art style.
Oh
And
god.
you know, and I mean I can vibe with One Piece, but you know, everyone's biggest issue with One Piece is the art style, and I don't blame them.
I
And
never had an issue with it.
no, I know, but that beginning One Piece art,
I
boy, is that
mean,
shit, bro. It's
but
rough.
then it's like there's way worse examples, and I could
There are. There are.
definitely find them. I mean,
There's worse
it's
art.
I think
Baki is
it's
worse.
yeah.
It's more detailed and somehow worse to
Well,
me.
I mean,
It
because it's
looks
like
ugly.
I don't know. It's like they focused on the weirdest thing, I guess. Like they
Yeah.
put so much detail into like I don't know.
It's on purpose because there are
I
plenty of
know.
normal looking characters
Yeah,
in it.
Ugh.
like Baki knows what it's doing. I'm not even gonna
It
get mad
does.
at it. I'm not gonna get mad at it despite the art looking the way it does. It's an awesome show. But anyway, back to FF7. I found some mods. This is a game that I had never really played beyond maybe like a couple of hours. But I was deeply invested to fucking experience this the way I've always experienced it. Obviously, that means I should have just played the remake,
Mm.
but the remake is one of the this remake is like you can't just say fuck OG, play remake. No, you have to play the OG. I don't even say that about RE4. I don't even say that about OG RE1. You have to play FF7 OG because story-wise you must. It's like this is getting to a semi tangent, but I'll keep it brief. Square Enix, as far as I know, very limited information on these games, these remakes, is that they are taking the word remake very literally, and it somehow, in a roundabout way, becomes meta. And it's like, oh, remake the game, remake the game inside the game.
Mm.
Yeah, y'all don't know what that really means, but it's a meta type of thing to the point where, like, the way it's apparently written is like, yeah, you gotta play OG to it's like what it's like playing a sequel.
Mm.
That's the craziest part. So, yeah, I played that. I researched it so much because I've always wanted to play this game for so long. I found all the right things, modded the graphics, they look fucking amazing, and it still looks like a PS1 game, just a better one. That's it.
Mm.
You know?
Cool.
Upgraded the textures, upgraded the music. Well, the music is more like you're getting the right music because the Steam version kind of sucked, and the PC version anyway has an upgraded soundtrack originally anyway. So somebody modded it so you're actually listening to how the music really sounds for PC, and it sounds better than the PS1, dude. It's one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. This soundtrack gives Metal Gear Solid soundtracks like a run for its money. It's insane how good it is. Yeah, played it. Turn-based combat. Have no issues with it. I vibe with it. I think I could get it. I think I could vibe with it more because Chrono Trigger helped.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think Chrono Trigger helped. If y'all have trouble with JRPGs or just turn-based combat now, I would suggest playing Chrono Trigger.
I was gonna say my first game like that was Golden Sun.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. So Golden Sun is on the fucking Nintendo Switch Online service. And
Huh?
I gave it some time. I gave it some time, like maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. Like, all right, let me give it some time. Dude, this game is fucking amazing, dog. It's so fucking good. And you know what's
Dude,
so crazy about Golden Sun, dude?
what up?
That was my actual first JRPG.
That was like my well. Can I say?
You
I mean,
played Legendaries. Well, this is the cursed game for Jihad now, but you played Dragon Ball Z Legendary Super Warriors. That was a turn-based
Yeah,
card.
the card game.
Dude,
wait. Oh
J-
yeah, I
J-
did. That was
David,
pretty fun.
David, you missed out. I had that Retron 5 shit before I removed it for whatever now I have. But the Retron 5 allows you to put cartridge-based games up to Game Boy Advance from Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Advance, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, and some other shit, right?
Yeah.
But because it can't even play Link to the Past on a cartridge, I said, fuck that. I know I'm gonna get that game at some point physically. I'm not dealing with that. So I had a bunch of Game Boy Advance games on there besides other shit. And I was like, yo, Jihad, look what I got. Because I remember you both telling me that that game was awesome and y'all loved to play it. And I recently asked Jihad chose Legendary Super Warriors after I asked him what retro game he would get if he had to. And then he played it and he was like, "Oh."
It's a lot different.
Dude,
Playing
it was
20 years
so
later.
fucking hilarious how
Dude,
he felt about it now.
I mean, the thing is, like, I replayed
It's
it the
been
other
20
day.
years.
Dude.
It is rough. But the thing is, it was one of those games where, at least for me, the reason why I loved it was because it had all those like Easter eggs to where you could unlock each character, but it
Yeah.
was you had to do it by like by the continuity. So like if you wanted to, say for instance, unlock Majin Vegeta, you had to basically use Super Saiyan 2 Goku to beat him. Like in the fight. If you wanted to unlock Cell, you had to use a certain character. If you wanted to unlock Nail, you had to use a certain character at a certain time. So that was like my favorite part about it was that you could, in essence, get every single character you wanted. With with the appropriate guide, of course. Knowing all that stuff on your own was impossible. But I still visit it every now and then. But
Okay.
But was that my first one? Is either that one or Dragon Warrior Monsters, I think it was called.
What?
What?
Dragon. Hold on. I listen to the soundtrack every now and then. Hold on. What is it called? Because I freaking Dragon. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, wait. No.
Dragon
Something else.
Warrior Quest Monsters? Dragon Warrior Monsters. Yeah, that's it. Game Boy Color.
Dragon Warrior Monsters.
Game Boy Color. The one soundtrack that I would listen to is called Don't Play.
Wait a second. This is
Never Ending Story. Yeah. That's when I put on loop.
Wait, this looks kind of cool.
It was kind of like Pokemon, but like just
Yeah.
monsters. But you wouldn't use like you had to like befriend them. That was the mechanic for this game.
Yeah.
And you could like befriend bosses as well, which I thought was pretty cool.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'd play this.
Give it a try. It's not that long of a game, and I feel like I've played it a few times, and I think that's a good segue into our next part.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, FF7, I've put a lot of hours into it. I put probably 50 plus hours on it already. Um, it's an amazing game. Thankfully, fans have essentially remade the original game, with mods. It's insane the work and dedication they've put. Especially that voice mod, that voice is everything in the game. It's like, oh my god, that is some insane work right there. And I have it just because it sounded awesome. I could do without it, but I like it. It's great work, and I appreciate that from
Hmm.
those fans.
of course.
And the combat again, um, it's great. I have no issues with it. Again, I don't think I would have enjoyed this game as much if I hadn't done this. I do intend to play it vanilla at some point because I think I owe the game that. But because of these mods, I like to mix and match through other playthroughs. I do think I'll eventually have multiple playthroughs. Maybe not right after another like I would want to, but it is what it is. You got other games and I got life, so we'll see there. But it's a fantastic game. Highly recommend it. Especially if you can't vibe with the graphics, or you guys can't vibe with the graphics or whatever, I would suggest to mod it. There's a lot of videos. Some of it is a little messy, but um, I mean, I could help y'all make it easier, way easier, and pretty good shit. Love that game. It is it's a mind fuck, and go play it if you haven't.
Cool, cool.
It's Kojima level. It's Kojima level. There, I said it, dog. Fucking Kojima level game, man. I'm telling you, dude. There's a part where my friend or Trung and I were watching it, and I was like, dude, this was some Kojima level shit, bro. Like what was happening in the game. Like not even from a just cutscene perspective, just you in this moment as the player doing things like some Psycho Mantis reading your memory card type shit. And I was like, wow. I was very shocked. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I actually cried like one time, dog. I
Bro.
actually cried.
Oh my god.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't help that this game has been talked about for so long. It's been so long since it came out. At this point, if you got spoiled, I mean, it's on you. Game's been out. Everyone knows about Aerith's death. You know, uh, but that happened in the game. And dude, the fucking cinematic animu quality level was off the charts. It was so insane. The music is masterful. If y'all don't have time to play it right now but want to listen to the soundtrack, dude, listen to the PC soundtrack. Listen to the PC Yamaha soundtrack. Y'all find it. It'll start with like XA or whatever the fuck. It'll look weird when they type it out. Listen to that soundtrack because it uses synths and that keyboard and everything. Dude, that death happened and you get plunged into a boss fight like that right immediately after. Right? And you're essentially fighting something that had to do with this death. And while you're fighting, I'm over there with Barrett, Jihad, and I'm with Tifa, and we're all battling this fucking monster. And the music, dude, the music that was playing in the cutscene is playing in the battle. It's like when Snake Eater is fucking playing in fucking MGS3 when you're fighting the boss, like that type of shit. That fucking song was just playing in the background, and in my head, it was like I was picturing the scenes like as if it was like an anime or something, or if like you got to use imagination in this game too, even if you mod it. Obviously, it's an old game, sorta, and it's an RPG. I could see the scenes play out. Like, it was silent. You couldn't even hear the characters. They were crying. They were fight. You could hear the sound effects, but you couldn't really hear them. But they were fighting the monster, crying and trying to avenge Aerith's death. And it was like I was there, right there with them, and I just, dude, I started to tear up. It was so sad. It was so sad. Good game, amazing game. No need to say anything else. We can segue into more shit.
Well, I'm convinced to play it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
play that shit, dude. I am telling you, play the fucking game. It is fucking masterful. It's so insane. Like, there's 3 discs. 3 discs, PS1. Legendary. That's legend. I remember when I first heard that, like, dude, FF7 uses 3 discs on PS1. And I was like, what? The first game to use 3 discs on
That's
PS1?
Pretty wild, actually.
Yeah,
3
I am
discs? 3? 2, maybe.
Bruh.
3?
3 discs, nigga. 3. And they were like, even though it's technically more of an earlier PS1 game, you can see that they're pushing the shit out of it. They were doing everything they could for their creativity to shine through, no matter what they were limited by. It's crazy, dude. I can see it even with the mods. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, 3 discs. I'm on disc 2.
Bruh.
I'm on disc 2. I'm on disc 2, and I'm like, I think 60% of the story, 60 to 65% of the story. This shit is like tragic porn, dog. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, that's that dude. I almost internally like giggled in a way because there's so much fucked up shit in that game. It's crazy. Like, that shit is crazy. Like, I thought Oda was going in with all of his backstories, because all of his fucking backstories just have to be tragic. It's annoying. And now I'm playing this. I can't even be mad at it. Like, I'm not laughing at it, but they do such a good job. I can't be upset about it, dude. It's just too good. It's too good. The writing is just next level, man. If y'all haven't played it, play it, man. Highly recommend.
Very well. All right. So we're going to go ahead and mosey on into the second part.